How many games will the Los Angeles Chargers win in 2026? What's going on, Chargers fans and guys? It's your boy Man Jones here, back up with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be predicting the Los Angeles Chargers 2026 record for the NFL 2026 season. So we're gonna get things started here. So we about to get ready to bolt up for the Chargers. So before I give you my record prediction, I'm gonna go game by game analysis and my game by game pick, see which games I think the Chargers will win and which games I think the Chargers will lose. So before I give you my record prediction for the Chargers for the 2026 NFL season, don't forget to put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel more often, and comment down your opinion below to see how good you think about the Chargers. Do you think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs this year? Do you think they'll win the division, or you think they're going to miss out on the playoffs? Just let me know in the comments below what you guys think for about the Chargers. So yeah. So week 1, they got to play at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, they should easily beat the Cardinals because the Chargers are the more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home. And, the Cardinals are dealing with a new culture in Arizona. They got a new head coach, and they got questions at quarterback, which I don't know who's going to be the week 1 starter. Is it going to be Jacoby Brissett or Carson Beck? Their offensive line is not great. Their defense is mediocre. I mean, they got some good players there, but they're very predictable. And they're a weaker defense than you think. And Chargers pretty much do have a better defense, which they make more plays. And the offense will make more plays as well, too. So, yeah. So, I think the Chargers, they should easily whoop the Cardinals. Then week 2, they got to play at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. They should easily beat the Raiders, so I got them winning 2 back-to-back games. I mean, the Raiders, they're kind of like a disaster. They could be in a rebuilding mode, but who knows? I mean, they made some improvements to their roster, especially on defense, but I don't think they did enough offensively to prove it. I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Raiders. Is it going to be Kirk Cousins or is it going to be Fernando Mendoza? But I wouldn't trust a rookie on the road as well, especially against a Chargers defense that was top 10 in the league. And on top of that, I just think the Chargers, they're just a much more complete team, and they have the better quarterback and coaching staff. And they're at home. The Raiders are going to be dealing with a new culture in Las Vegas because they have a new head coach as well. So, yeah, that's why I think the Chargers will win that game. Then week 3, they got to play on the road against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. This is going to be a fun game to watch, but I actually got the Bills winning this game because the Chargers got to go across the country to play. They have to go to the East Coast to play the Bills. Where playing in Buffalo is tricky, but I know they're going to be having a new stadium, coming up pretty soon. So yeah. So, and also the Bills I just think they're just a much more complete team, and they pretty much have a better quarterback as well. And I just really think that the Bills will do a really good job controlling the line, control time possession, keep Herbert off the sidelines as well. And I just think the Bills' O-line is going to play so good against your D-line, which that can totally put your defense in a bad position. And I feel like Josh Allen's going to make some magic happen. And I think the Bills' defense is pretty good, but they're not good against the run, but they're good against the pass. I just think the Bills' defense can make more plays, which that can probably allow the Chargers' offense to throw the ball, like run the ball as much as well. So, yeah, and and Joe Brady has had success. I mean, he outcoached Mike McDaniel before. So I think there's a chance that the Bills can outcoach the Chargers. So, yeah, I think the Bills win that game at home. Week 4, they have to play against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, almost across the coast. They almost got to go across the country. So I got the Seahawks winning this game because I think the Seahawks, I just think the Seahawks are just a much more complete team. They're at home, and I just think they pretty much have the better defense in my opinion. But I think they are going to take a little bit of step back this year because they lost several key players free agency. I don't think both teams will run the ball, but I think Seattle, you know, with their offense, like I just don't think you guys have the corners to man up against the Seahawks receivers. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba will be a problem. Cooper Cup will be a problem as well. Like those guys, there's going to be too much for your secondary to handle. And I just think the Seahawks defense will make more stops as well. And Mike McDonald has had success against the Chargers offense in the past. I mean, I kind of remember him being the Ravens defense coordinator. I feel like he found a way to at least like shut down the Chargers offense. And I kind of feel like in this game, I think he's going to do it though. So yeah. So by the way, I think Seattle wins this game. Then week 5, they got to play against the Denver Broncos at home. Obviously, I think they will bounce back and beat the Broncos. So I'm giving the Chargers a win here because I just really think that the Chargers are just a much more complete. Like, I just don't see them losing 2 games in a row. I just think Herbert's is the better quarterback as well, and I just really think that Chargers pretty much have better offense. I think their offense will make more plays than the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos, like their defense is okay, but they can be weak at times. And they like to play a lot of man coverage as well. And when you play man coverage against the Chargers, it opens things up for Herbert. So yeah, and I think the Chargers defense can totally make some more plays to confuse Bo Nix because I just don't think the Broncos offense is that good. And despite the weapons that he has, so yeah, I think the Chargers will win that game. Week 6 against Kansas City Chiefs. I think you're gonna split with the Chiefs, so I'm gonna say the Chiefs win this game right here to get their revenge on you guys because you guys did sweep them last year, and especially in that set, and especially the first matchup, you guys did beat them in Brazil. They did beat them in Brazil, and then the second game they did beat them when Mahomes went down with an injury. So yeah, so I think the Chiefs will win the first matchup as well because the Chiefs are at home and playing Arrowhead is tricky. So yeah, so I think the Chiefs win this game here. And especially, I think they're going to be a playoff team this year. And they're going to have more to play for because the Chiefs are probably going to be a team that can totally make the playoffs or they could barely miss it. So yeah, so I think the Chiefs will win that game for sure. Then they have a bye week 7. And then after the bye week, they got to go. They'll go back in California, but they have to play against the Rams in LA. I mean, 2 LA teams playing against each other. I mean, this is going to be a fun game to watch. I could see this going either way, but I do lead towards the Rams winning this game. So I'm picking the Rams to win this game because I just think the Rams are just a much more complete team. They're at home and the coaches are a bit even, the quarterbacks are a bit even. And I just really think that the Rams pretty much have a better defense overall. I mean, the Rams did improve their defense, adding, they got rid of Jared Verse for Myles Garrett, what they add, which that was nice. And then they just revamped their secondary, adding cornerbacks like Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. I think the Rams secondary can get sticky against your pass catcher, against the Chargers pass catchers. And I feel like on the other side, I think Stafford can do enough to like to throw the ball through the air and dice your secondary up. And the Rams do got some weapons on offense like that can really like give the Chargers defense a lot of issues, like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Like yeah, and I just really think the Rams are going to find a way to control time possession and all that. And I think the offense will make more plays, and I think the defense of the Rams will probably get more stops as well. So yeah, so I think it's going to be a closer game than we expected, but I do think the Rams find a way to pull this one off. Then week 9, they have to play At home, they'll stay in California where they have to play against the Texans at home. This is a game that can definitely go either way. I know most people could be picking the Texans to win because the Texans match up well with the Chargers really good. It's a bad matchup for them because the Texans do have the pass rush to get after Herbert. They do have the corners to man up against the Chargers receivers. Because I kind of remember the Texans, beat them down, last year, and then they beat them in the playoffs the year before. But honestly, I'm going to say the Chargers are going to get their revenge and beat the Texans because the Texans' offense is still in a question mark. Maybe there's a chance the Chargers' D line can totally take advantage of that and overwhelm that. And I just really think that the Chargers' defense will make more plays. And I just believe that their offense can make more plays too. And I think if you can beat their defense, I think you can totally win this game for sure. So I think the Chargers will find a way to pull this one off, especially at home in their building. And I think they pretty much have a better quarterback. So yeah, I actually think the Chargers find a way to win this game. So yeah, um, week 10 they got to play against the Ravens in Baltimore on a Monday night. Um, obviously, I actually got this game right here is gonna be fun to watch. I can see it's going either way. Now I know most people could be picking the Chargers to win, but I feel like I'm gonna lean towards the Ravens here to win this game in a close one. I kind of feel like the Ravens are just a much more complete team. I feel like the Ravens are gonna be a better team this year than the Chargers, and they're playing at home and playing in Baltimore is tricky. And I just really think that the Ravens defense is much improved. I mean, I know they have a new coach in Jesse Minter. I think he's going to get his revenge on the Chargers. And the Ravens pretty much match up well with the Chargers really good because they pretty much do have the pass rush to get after Herbert. They do have the corners in the secondary to man up against the Chargers receivers like Lad McConkey and them and Quentin Johnston. And then they pretty much have the weapons on offense like Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews to at least move the ball against the Chargers defense because I don't think you guys really have the corners to man up against those guys. And I feel like Bateman can have a good game. But I feel like as long as if Derrick Henry doesn't run you over, I think the Charger defense can stay in the game. So yeah. So yeah, so I think the Ravens, I think the Ravens are gonna find a way to win this game though, but I feel like it's gonna be a little bit like a defensive game. I think there's a game where the Ravens defense is gonna win the game itself. And I think Lamar Jackson, the Ravens offense can do enough to sustain drives, control the clock and all that. And I feel like Lamar can make some magic happen. So I feel like if Lamar is healthy, I think the Ravens will win. Then week 11, they got to play at home against the Jets. Obviously, this is an easy Chargers win here because the Chargers are the more complete team and have the better quarterback and coaching staff. And the Jets, they're a disaster. I mean, Geno Smith is not good. Like they're not good offensively. Defensively, they're very young, but they're very predictable, and they pretty much have a weaker defense. And I feel like you should be able to move the ball against them, and I think your defense should be able to make more plays as well. So yeah, I think the Chargers easily win that game there. Then week 14, week 12, they have to play against the New England Patriots. This is another game that can go either way. I know most people could be picking the Patriots to win because the Patriots, they pretty much have a better roster and they pretty much own the Chargers. Um, I feel like they're the more like they could be a better team than the Chargers. Now I know this is a game, a playoff rematch as well. It was kind of like a defensive game, and the Patriots won this game by their defense, and they hold the Chargers in 3 points. I actually think the Chargers are going to get their revenge and beat the Patriots because they're at home, and I just think the Chargers defense can match up well with the Chargers Patriots really good because I really think your D line is going to be able to at least like get the Patriots offense some fits. And on the other side, I think offensively, I think the Chargers can control time possession, keep Drake May on the sideline, and all that. So yeah, so I actually think the Chargers defense will win in this game as well. So yeah, that's why I think the Chargers are going to win this game, especially at home in LA. If it was New England, I think I'll switch sides here and pick the Patriots. Then week 13, they have to play against Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tampa Bay. Now they got to go almost across the country playing a Florida team in the month of December. Now, this game can go either way. I can see a place where Tampa wins this game, but I lean the Chargers here to win this game because I just think the Chargers are just like the much more complete team and have the better coaching staff and they have a better quarterback. And I just think Mike McDaniels, he's gonna have tricks up his sleeves against the Bucks defense because I feel like he did that last year when he was the Dolphins head coach. And the Bucks, I feel like they're just gonna take a step back this year. I feel like the offense did decline, especially last year without Liam Cohen. I mean, their receiving core is totally not as good as it was last year because they lost Mike Evans. But now they still got guys like Emeka Ibuka, Cade Auden, and Chris Godwin. Bucky Irvin's a stud, but I don't see how the Bucks offense is going to be able to have success here. I think the Chargers should be able to load the box, stop the run, and all that. So yeah, so I'm definitely not worried about their secondary, but as long as you can crowd the box, stop the run, you should be fine. And I feel like you guys do have a better defense than the Bucks because the Bucks pretty much have a weaker defense, and they're very predictable. So I feel like offensively, you should be able to move the ball against them. You should be able to throw the ball at them because the Bucks don't really have the corners to man up against Lad McConkey or Quentin Johnson or David Njoku. Like those guys will be a problem. So yeah, I think the Chargers. I think they go into Tampa Bay and win that game. But I kind of remember from 2 years ago, the game was in LA and Tampa Bay went into their building and beat them. But I feel like even though the game's in Tampa, I think the Chargers are going to find a way to pull this one off. Then week 14 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, I feel like you could sweep the Raiders, but just for the giggles and the means, I'm going with the Raiders to split the season series against the Chargers because I think that Herbert's gonna like have some sort of karma in this game, and I just kind of feel like that this is a game I think the Raiders defense might win the game itself, but they don't have great offense though. But you guys got better weapons on offense. They have a better offense, a better O line, and a better defense. But the Raiders defense is mid, but it's not like the best unit. So I actually think the Raiders are gonna win a game against them this year. So yeah. That's why I think the Raiders are gonna win that game. And then next game they have to play at home against San Francisco 49ers, Thursday night short week. I could definitely see this game definitely going either way. Um, you know, because this is going to be a really fun game to watch. Um, this could totally be my game of the week, and this could totally be the Super Bowl matchup. I know most people could be picking the Niners to win because I feel like the Niners are pretty much a better team from a talent standpoint. But I will say since you're at home, I'm gonna go with the Chargers here because I believe the Chargers pretty much have a better quarterback. And I just really think that, offensively, I just think they can do enough to control the game, keep Purdy on the sidelines and all that. And I think they pretty much do have a pass rush that can really get after Purdy and make life difficult on them. And Chargers are really good at stopping the run as well too. And I just really think that your O line will do a really good job combating the Niners pass rush. So yeah, and I think the Chargers O line is going to play so good against the Niners D line, which that can totally put the Niners defense in a bad position because the Niners defense is soft at time. So yeah, I think Herbert can do enough to make some plays here and there. So that's why I think the Chargers are going to win this game. And also, this could be the Jim Harbaugh revenge game as well, which I think he was the head coach of the Niners years ago. So I think he gets his revenge here. Then week 16, they have to play. They have to play versus the Miami Dolphins in Miami, where they have to go across the country again because they have to go to Florida again for like the second straight time this year. So I actually have the Chargers winning here because the Chargers, like, I know the travel is going to be tough for them, but the Chargers are just a much more complete team and have a better quarterback and better coaching staff. I mean, the Dolphins, I feel like they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. I mean, they have a quarterback, Malik Willis, who I'm not a big believer in. Their offensive line is sketchy. Like, their receiving core, like, is sketchy. And their defense is going to be a little bit sketchy this year. I feel like they're going to be very atrocious this year because they lost several guys. And the Dolphins don't really have, the guys on offense that can really like move the ball against the Chargers defense. And I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to have the defense to get after Herbert and all that. So I think, this is a Mike McDaniel revenge game. I think Mike McDaniel gets his revenge on the Dolphins. I think he's going to have tricks up his sleeves against the Dolphins defense. I know the Dolphins are dealing with the learn because they have a new head coach in Halfley, who I'm not a big believer in. But he's going to put up some defense production, but I don't think he's going to have the talent to do so. So I think the Chargers, they should easily go into Miami and whoop them. I mean, even last year the Dolphins almost beat them though. But I think, this is the time I think the Chargers do beat them down. So yeah, I think the Chargers win that game easily. Week 17 against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they will beat the Chiefs here. So I'm going to say they split the series and beat the Chiefs because I just really feel like, they're going to be extra motivated to play them because, you lost to them early in the season. I think this is the time you beat them, and especially this game's on Saturday in LA. So, yeah. And I think you guys, the Chargers, like, they're going to have more to play for this game because, like I said, the Chargers, they could be a team that might make the playoffs or they could barely miss it. So that's why I think the Chargers will win that game here at home. And then finally, last game, week 18, they have to play against the Denver Broncos in Denver. I think Denver splits the season series and beat you guys as well. So, yeah. Because the Broncos, they're going to have more to play for because I feel like the Broncos are a team that could totally make the playoffs or they could barely miss it. So, yeah. And I feel like the Broncos could be a playoff team this year. So, that's why I think Denver is going to split with them. So, overall, I have the Chargers going 10-7, which that could be totally good enough to make the playoffs, though, which is pretty much good for a wild card spot. But I don't really know. We'll have to see because I think I pretty much either have the Chiefs or Broncos win division because I have the Broncos and Chiefs tying up for first place in the AFC West. I kind of really think the Chargers might take a little bit of a step back this year because, their schedule could be tougher than it was. So as I look at this schedule, they have to play the Bills, they play the Seahawks, they play the Broncos twice, the Chiefs twice, they play the Rams, they play the Texans, they play the Ravens, they play the Patriots, they play the Niners. Man, this is like a tough schedule right there. But like I say, I can totally see the Chargers losing one more game. I could totally see them lose to the Patriots, maybe the Texans, or maybe the Buccaneers, or maybe the Niners. And I can see them beating teams I could totally see them beating the Seahawks or Ravens or anything like that. So, yeah. But I feel like the loss of Jesse Minter kind of hurts a little bit, but I feel like they do have a new defensive coordinator who they're going to have to deal with. but I feel like the Chargers defense might get a little bit worse this year, and I feel like the offense will be just fine. I feel like, adding Mike McDaniel to the coaching staff was a big addition, which I feel like, he's going to be a really good offensive coordinator and be a better one than Greg Roman was. Because Greg Roman was a good offensive coordinator for years until they fired him. So, yeah. I mean, I love Herbert. He's a good quarterback. I love their coaching staff. It's pretty good. I feel like the offensive line is still the same. The receivers, I mean, I like the David Njoku addition, but I think they may need to look to. I love McConkey. I think they can look to add another receiver behind Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston. The running back, I love Hampton. I feel like he's fine. The defense is still the same. I like to maybe at least improve at linebacker. Maybe cornerback could be additional need. I mean, when they didn't have no corners, I mean, they were like the best pass defense in the league. So, yeah. I mean, they were like a top, like, 3-5 defense last year. I feel like their defense could totally be top 5 once again, or maybe top 10. So, yeah, 10-7 for the Chargers is what I see for 3-3 in division, 7-5 in conference, 8-0 at home, 2-7 away. I mean, not bad at all. But like I said, I can see them totally winning one more game. I can, see them, winning, one more game. Like, they could totally beat the Raiders to at least fight for a playoff spot. So, yeah. So, 10-7 is what I got for the Chargers. So, you let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the Chargers and all. So, yeah, but this is Emmanuel Jones, a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. That way you can see more of my NFL record predictions on my playlist. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. See you guys later. Peace.